Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Spotlight Tuesdays with Coach VJ. I hope everyone is doing well today. So I just wanted to let you know as you guys start coming into the room that today's Spotlight is going to be a little different today. Typically, I spotlight and interview small business owners and nonprofit organization founders and really expose their products, services, and the philanthropy work that they are doing in our community. But today, I wanted to actually focus on an organization that is a business generator serving the metro Atlanta area that supports Black entrepreneurs in overcoming unique barriers that they may have and to really thrive in their businesses. And this is what this organization is focused on. So I wanted to kind of shift today and kind of highlight an organization that actually help us out there that are entrepreneurs, small business owners, solopreneurs, all of us that make up this, wonderful community of business owners. So our special guest today is actually none other than President and CEO of the Russell Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurs, Jay Bailey.
Hey, everybody.
And Jay and I actually were high school classmates, and I have been following his amazing journey ever since. And so I wanted to share a little bit about Jay with you. So a little bit about Jay is that Jay has been committed to living his personal motto, build as we climb. He is a change agent, thought leader, entrepreneur, and emerging philanthropist that has dedicated his life to serving others. James serves as president and CEO of the Russell Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, RCIE, which you'll be hearing me just saying RCIE as the acronym throughout the rest of this interview. And he is honoring and truly doing a great job in honoring the great legacy and visionary business leadership of Herman J. Russell Sr. He will lead the development of the largest center in America driven by impact, dedicated to empowering Black entrepreneurs and small business owners. Over 50,000 square feet designed to inspire ideas, create jobs, grow companies, and increase wealth in the community. He is an Atlanta native and a diehard Georgia Bulldog. James has a proven track record of success. He is recognized by 3 U.S. presidents for his leadership and community efforts. In 2012, James was one of the 8 Americans honored at the White House as a champion of change, following in the footsteps of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dedicated to service, James is a National Point of Light Award and Presidential Lifetime Volunteer Service Award recipient. James has served on numerous boards, including the Metro Atlanta and the Georgia Chamber Board of Directors, the Atlanta Beltline TAD Advisory Committee, a Georgia Forestry Foundation trustee, and chairman of Citizens Trust Bank Next Generation Advisory Board. A graduate of Leadership Georgia, Leadership Atlanta, and the Regional Leadership Institute. James was also named to both the Atlanta Business Chronicle and Georgia Trend Magazine's 40 Under 40 Best and Brightest Leaders of the Future. He is a recipient of the coveted Whitney M. Young National Community Service Medallion, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drum Major for Service Award, a New Leaders Council Fellow member of Alpha Phi Alpha and the 100 Black Men of Atlanta. James and his wife, NBC News correspondent Blaine Alexander, currently resides in East Atlanta, and they also have a baby girl on the way. I am so excited for you both. Congratulations again on that, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So before we get into all things RCIE, I want to just ask you a few questions that will hopefully inspire someone who is currently watching the live today or who will catch the replay at some point. So the first thing I want to ask you is, given your education, your career experience, and philanthropy work, your path could have led you in many different directions in your life. What led you to RCIE? How did you know this was the direction you were supposed to go in?
If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. And I think that so many people think that we have some control over this great thing that we call life. And I just learned a long time ago, I should call you Coach BJ, not Renita, my bad. Coach BJ, I learned a long time ago that we just aren't in control. Yeah. And, for the where my life has taken me over the years, I made my wife a promise about 4 years ago that I'd never get another job again. I've always been an entrepreneur. I started my first business at 12. I knew that I could create wealth for my family and maybe generations beyond me. But there are very few times in life where you get to be a part of something you know will outlast you. There are even rare moments where you get to be a part of something that could potentially change the course of history. And with the Russell Center, honoring one of the greatest entrepreneurs this city has ever produced, to be able to build the largest center in the world dedicated to growing, scaling, developing Black businesses, growing Black economy, growing the Black economy is historic. And to pass on an opportunity to be a part of that great legacy, I just couldn't do it. I was called to it. So it wasn't even like a job. I see this as an assignment. And so, my life as an entrepreneur, the ups, the downs, some of the nonprofit work that I've done, some of the organizations that I've been able to grow in the past, led me to a moment right now. But again, it is one of those God moments where, who saw this coming? And as we get into more of the questions, part of my journey placed me at the feet of some incredible individuals, one of them being H.J. Russell. I remember stealing my mom's car at 14 to drive around Southwest Atlanta. Wow. To look at the big houses over there. Beneath we both grew up on the east side. So It's literally, we didn't have these big mansions that were owned by Black people, or Mr. Russell had a pool inside his house in the 40s with a tennis court. And I had never seen people that looked like us that lived like that. So it was inspirational. He was a far away mentor that became then someone that I was able to sit at the feet of, and to now be in a space right now to continue that great legacy. It's something I just could not pass by. And I couldn't be more energized about the work that we have ahead. So all of that led me to here. I think that sometimes when we relinquish control and really let God in, and then not to make this a religious show, but it's true in my life.
Speak your truth. Yes, that is my truth. Speak your truth.
It's real. And I think that, we think one thing and something else happens. And if we don't allow for life to take us and let the game come to us, I think far too often we try to control the game instead of letting the game come to us. You cut yourself off from opportunities. You cut yourself off from possibilities, thinking that you see all the angles and know all of the access points, and that you're the one driving the ship. Get out of the way, get out of your own way, and let what's for you be for you, and see how that all comes to manifestation. If you put it out there, the good energy comes right back to you. So I find myself here doing this work for right now, and it feels like a very good place for me.
I love it. I love you said a mouthful. I mean, relinquish control. I mean, and just, let God in, let God lead you. Not you're trying to lead the situation. Like you said, tell God your plans and watch him laugh. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, and I love what you said at the beginning too, where you said that, this is not a job for you. This is actually what you've been called to. It's a purpose. Yes, it's running a company, but you're led to this assignment. And that's for someone that's out there watching, because again, I know as you find me talk about purpose a lot on my various platforms, I want you to know that a company could be your assignment. It could be your purpose. So you have to really lean in and really, listen and take that time for yourself to really understand what direction you're supposed to be going into. So Jay, thank you for that. And along those lines, you have had an extensive background, as we've heard earlier. What have been some of the roadblocks or obstacles you have faced along the way? Let's talk about some of that.
I mean, I think that you won't find, they say a good sailor is not made in calm seas. I'm a firm believer that loss creates leaders, and those who are most worth following have been on their back. Those are the ones that can effectively manage pain. If you've not been flat on your back, I don't know if you've ever truly seen the sun. I think we take for granted so much when we walk straight ahead. We're always looking forward. Very rarely do we look up.
Come on,
but when you're flat on your back, I mean, I think that's the time where you only have one choice. And so I've had several of those moments, Benita, where Coach BJ, where, I started my first business at 12, but I lost my mother when I was 19. I bought my first house when I was 19. I
Mm,
made my first million by the time I was 26.
my
I
God.
didn't have good role models and, business, role models and mentors. I lost everything. And I went from living in a 10,000 square foot home to literally being homeless in a 9x9 storage unit over in Tucker, right around the corner from Henderson and
Oh, wow.
Mount Boulevard. And so, I was at a point where I was taking showers at the LA Fitness, and looking at my life at that time, uh, by the world standards, I had been successful at a young age. Cars, clothes, houses, all those things that don't matter very much.
Mhm.
I've been successful, but I had zero significance. I had done nothing to put a dent in this world. I had made no one's life better. And I
Mm,
think a series of losses in my life, depression had set in. And when you got a big house or a nice car, everybody assumes your life is perfect. Uh,
mhm.
we put the positions and the possessions over the person, and the material wins out. And I think the cost of perception kills our community. It may
Yeah.
look good, but is it really healthy on the inside? But if I'm driving a Benz or a G-Wagon or a Hummer or something like that, and the house is good, that's a whole other story for a whole different time. But
Mhm.
when I started focusing on significance, everything changed. I went from living in that 9x9 to help grow a $30 million nonprofit organization in 10 countries. Uh,
Wow.
to now being at the head of this platform where it's a $40 million project, and we're going to raise this capital to build something that doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
And so life has been going up since then, but it's really been a very concerted effort and a decision to prioritize significance over just success.
Yeah.
And I think that success without significance is a very hollow place.
Mhm. Absolutely. And, thank you for your transparency, because
Mhm.
a lot of times I like to tell people, you see people's glory, but you don't know their story.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I did, I just knew you from, being in Henderson, us going to high school together, you being at UGA and all of these great things, but who would have ever known that you were homeless and kind of living in a storage, or, only people see, oh, he's the president and CEO of RCIE, but how did you get there?
Oh,
And
yeah.
understand that even in your mess, there's a message in your mess, right?
Mhm.
So it's like we need
Mhm.
to determine what that is and how to move forward. And it looks like you've been able to do that. Again, one of the key things you said was look up, and so I love that.
I stopped trying to look perfect to people. I think so many
Mhm.
of us, including
Good.
myself, I'm not absolved of it, where you spend a lot of time on the appearance of things without working on the thing, right?
Mhm.
And I think that once I gave up trying to look perfect, to look or appear like everything was in order, and to show up and be present and be authentic, and be who you are every time. And I don't care what you do. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't. And if
Yeah.
you are your authentic self, who you are, true to yourself, then let the chips fall where they may. You can try to be this person and look this way and wear this thing and drive this thing and live in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And there's still people that ain't going to be okay with it.
It's
So show up as who you are and be authentically who you are every time and every opportunity that you get. And I think the path really opens up when you start to establish, you know what, I'm going to live in my truth. I'm going to show up authentic, and I'm going to be present in every moment. Just like I shared with you at the beginning of the interview. Yeah, I'm in LA right now, guys. So I'm 3 hours behind you, and I've been going since, 6 o'clock this morning here. So, and I'll be going to late into the evening, but I'm here with you guys right now. And hey, this is our time. So let me be present right here with you in this moment, because we won't get this moment again. So take advantage of every moment that you have. So, Coach, I'm here, and that's it. And what you get is what you see. And I think once I allowed myself to believe that and know that I was okay, and if I wasn't driving a certain car or doing a certain thing or have a certain watch, what, it's okay.
Mhm.
Giving myself that permission made a whole lot of difference.
Absolutely. Giving yourself permission. That is key. And, I always like to say, don't let people see just what you do. Let them see the fruit of you, right? They need to see the fruits of you, So, one of the other things I wanted to ask you, you know, what scares you the most, if anything, about being in this type of leadership role, right? You have a big responsibility. You have a big task for such a great mission. So what scares you the most, if anything, about that?
To take on a role like this, you have to be a bit fearless. However, I'm not one of those people saying I ain't scared of nothing wrong. That's just a lie. That's not being authentic.
Right.
And for folks to say, "Oh, I've never failed," all of that's just not true.
Right.
I think at the end of the day, we don't have the right to fail at the Russell Center. The mission's too big, the history's too deep, the need is too great. And to be in a situation where we don't deliver for the community, if we let the community down, if we're not providing and keeping those promises that we've made to the community, that scares me. That keeps me up at night, because I know that there is so much wrapped into the possibility of what this space can be. And if we fall short, I know we're going to let a lot of people down. And so that kind of fear of failure keeps me going. But it's not even just from a personal standpoint that I'll feel bad about us failing. I know the consequences if we're not able to succeed in our mission are that all of these things, this hope at scale that we hope that the Russell Center will create starts to falter. And it'll be yet another disappointment in our community of the possibilities of things and the excitement and the hope to yet again have those hopes crushed. And there's only so many of those that we can have in our community before we start just getting jaded and cynical. And here they go again with that same old. And that does scare me a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a really honest answer. And I love it because it just even further confirms that you are in it for the purpose. When you are passionate and you have a purpose in life, and I'm just going to say your purpose, not even really passion, purpose, truly, you will be scared to fail because you are fully 100% committed. And that's what I hear in that answer, that you're 100% committed in making sure at all costs that you fulfill the mission that you've been called to. And that's how, that's what I want everybody to kind of walk away and be inspired to hear what you have to say. And everybody else that I've interviewed before you, to hear the inspiration in that, because people need to be 100% committed to the mission and their purpose, because we're here to solve a problem. We're here to make somebody's life better. We're here to answer someone's prayer. That's what our purpose is here for. And that's why I'm so passionate about everyone finding what they've been called to do, because this world will be a better place. And if you don't, you're actually robbing your generation of your gift. And, that's what you're doing. And so, and speaking of that, which will roll me into my next question kind of is, if there's someone out there that's aspiring to be a James J. Bailey, what qualities, education, experience, and characteristics you believe they will need in order to be successful?
I'll categorize that in a couple of pieces of advice that I carry with me daily. I've been very fortunate to sit at the feet of some really great, amazing individuals, one of them being Ambassador Andrew Young. One of the best pieces of advice he ever gave me was, son, make your friends before you need them. I think that life is all about relationships. You do business with other people, and people get that twisted sometimes, that they think a business card or a title is the way that you get in, or some kind of well-crafted email. No, I got a crazy schedule, but you're my classmate. I knew you back in 1992, 1989, or wherever we started at Henderson. Yeah. My classmate calls me. I don't care how busy I am. I'm like, bet. You're beneath it to me. Like, I see you in a Henderson cheerleading outfit. And for folks that are listening to know her, she was like a hell of a cheerleader, like could do all the flips and all that kind of stuff back then. So don't let all that corporate, professionalism, VJ was the beast back in the day. So what I mean, like we were 12, 13, 14-year-old kids in those relationships. water. You make those before you need them. You invest in people that you know aren't going to stand still. So yeah, that person you know today that you may not be able to get anything from. They can't do anything for you, but you know that they're going places and they're going to be doing things, and know that you're building an authentic relationship. Back in 91, we didn't know that we would be here.
No.
And so now, because we established that I trust you, I know you, I love you, you're part of my history and my journey in an authentic way. It wasn't like you were asking me for anything back then.
No.
As we come to today, business is easier because of those relationships that were established. And I think we live in such a transactional space that it's like, okay, give me your business card. I'll give you, what can I get from you versus what I can give?
Yeah,
or try to see the whole person rather than the thing that you want from that person. And I think a lot of business leaders get that wrong, especially entrepreneurs and small business owners, nonprofit leaders. If you're listening to me, you know, I have been successful in raising significant money. I've been successful in building some organizations to scale, but so much of that was just simply built on relationships. And it wasn't that I approach a company saying, will you give me some money to run my program? No, I want to know who that person is, what moves them, what are they passionate about, who are they on the inside. That makes the deal a hell of a lot easier to close.
that's right.
The other is execution, though. Another great that I've been able to be mentored by, another late great, is Dr. C.T. Vivian. And when I asked him back in the day, sir, how did y'all change the world? Y'all changed the whole world during the civil rights movement. You didn't fire a single shot. And he said, doctor, all the power is in the doing. It is in the action that we see change happen. And, you know, I think entrepreneurs, small business owners, nonprofit leaders, game changers, world changers, we get in our heads so much and we think everything has to be perfect, and we start to let perfect stop progress. Like, you gotta go out there and act. You gotta do something and find problems you can do something about and do something. It may not be the whole play. It may not be the whole platform, but King said it. Faith is being able to take the first step, even though you can't see the whole staircase. And so often I come into nonprofit leaders. I was talking to one last week. They were saying, Jay, I want to start a 501c3. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I can help you with that. They were like, but I was like, well, so what is it about? And they were like, yeah, we want to provide like these kits that I make to homeless people. And we wanted to start a nonprofit around it. I said, well, is it about the work or is it about the IRS designation? Like, could you do that today? And even if you can only pass out 3 with the money you have, pass those 3 out.
That's
and
right.
from those 3, develop narratives and stories, and you're able to give people an image of people that you've helped, that you've been doing the work, versus going to, let's say, Coca-Cola saying, hey, I need $100,000 to do these packages for the homeless. Okay, well, tell me about that. Well, if you give me the money, I'll be able to go do it. Versus going to Coca-Cola and saying, look, I took everything I had to help these 3 individuals.
That's right.
Let me tell you about Jimmy. Jimmy did X, Y, and Z. And when I saw the light turn on in his face, and I was thinking, if I could just reach 100 people, how much good that would do. Because I've seen it work with the 3 that I was able to afford. That says to Coca-Cola, if you know somebody in the organization or have a relationship, that you're not waiting and dependent on them to do your calling. That, you know, I have a rule that, nobody gives you money till you prove you don't need it.
That's right.
And you know that you're going to go out there and get it. And they're like, wow, I want to be a part of what he's doing, not what he's planning to do or thinking about doing or wrote about. No, this kid is over there doing this and it's amazing. We'd like to be a part of that. And so it happens in business, that happens in entrepreneurship. Startups all the time get caught up in this paralysis around what my title is going to be and where my office is going to be and what my logo will look like. And you've actually done nothing to move that business along a continuum, because at the end of the day, it's about, are you selling something to someone that will generate revenue? And if it's not about generating revenue as a capitalist, if you're a social capitalist, then what are you doing to move people along the continuum and help them? If you've done none of that and you spend all of this time kind of focused on the non-impactful things that don't necessarily really matter, we miss the mark. Get to it. All the power is in the doing. Get out and do something. It may be wrong, but you're going to learn from it. It may be you may make a mistake, but I think we get so concerned about mistakes and failure. And I just urge everybody to fail big, fail fast, and run to the storm, because it's coming. I don't care who you are. The storm is coming. So run to it so you can get through it, but don't just sit there and wait on it.
That's good, Jay. Oh my God, you said a mouthful. I think the biggest thing that stood out for me is relationships. I really don't think people realize how valuable relationship building is when it comes to businesses and your organization. It is huge. And you said it, you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned we give these business cards. And again, we're looking at what we can get versus what we can give. And that is probably one of the most critical pieces of business advice that you can really share with someone, because again, you have to come with, what are you going to give, right? You can't come with the take mentality, you can't. And so that's relationships is really key, and I just appreciate you giving all of those nuggets. And, now that everyone has had an opportunity to learn about the man who's personally leading the mission, I'm going to turn it over to Jay to really share with us. He kind of gave a little bit of the history of RCIE, but the purpose, the vision, what are some of the opportunities and benefits that can help your business thrive, which is really what this thing is all about. So I really want to let him turn it over. And then after he give us some highlights of those opportunities and benefits and how we can connect, then we're going to close it out, and I'm going to let you know how you can reach out to the organization. So Jay, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about the Russell Center without even spending a little time talking about the man.
Right.
For any of your listeners that have never heard of H.J. Russell, especially if they're Black and doing business in Atlanta or the South, he's a name that you want to know. This is a brother that integrated the Chamber of Commerce on the city level and the state level. Half of our skyline, helped underwrite the civil rights movement. And even you think the building that we're in right now, you got to think of a Black man 74 years ago with a severe speech impediment, who had the audacity to build a headquarter building that's a full city block wide and 50,000 square feet with his name on it. If you're in real estate, that's possible today. He did it 74 years ago in the Jim Crow segregated racist South. The Russell Center is literally, I'm stealing the HBCU model when it comes to how do we bring the best resources in the world under one roof and give all of our entrepreneurs and small businesses the access that we normally don't have to banks, to supply chain, to big corporations, training, mentorship, relationships. I think we just lose GDP every year because of brilliant ideas that occur on the south side of I-20 or the south side of the tracks in any city never reach the marketplace because they don't believe that their ideas belong. And having this deep sense of belonging in a place that's owned by the people that it serves. Yes, we'll be the largest in the world, but we own the building. We own the dirt underneath it. And we are unapologetically focused on our approach to serve a community that looks like the people that lead the organization. And so, if you're a small business, if you're just thinking about entrepreneurship, our big ideas model, inspire, develop, execute, accelerate, scale, allows you to on-ramp where you are. So taking your business from where you are to where you're trying to go based on your terms, not us telling you what you need to do. But I think so many times we try to pigeonhole people in boxes and we don't really listen to what they need or what they want or where they're trying to go. We've really prided ourselves on building a platform that allows that to happen, a safe space for people to fail and fly. Rooted in access, opportunity, and exposure, but guided by community, culture, and covenant. It's literally the thing that drives us. We don't want to just do another program or build some more curriculum. I don't think that moves the needle. So many programs are only focused on being informative. Our goal is to be transformative. And how can we, in a substantial way, move the needle for our community to see more jobs created, more businesses started, more business growing, more revenues generated, more wealth created in our community. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So check us out at russellcenter.org. We just launched a new website. And in fact, I didn't want to bog you down, Coach, but we have changed the name. It's gone from RCIE to RICE, the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. And that was deliberate in that the term entrepreneurship is kind of scientific, it's academic. Well, we're not there for that. We're there for the individual. The most important asset that any business has is the individual, the entrepreneur. So we become the Russell Innovation Center for entrepreneurs for that specific purpose.
Okay. Awesome. Well, what I want to share with you guys, let me give you, is there any other thing you want to share with them, Jay, before I give them the information? Or because
RussellCenter.org, find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, Jay Bailey. Even go to the old website, RCIE.org, that works too, but RussellCenter.org.
Yep, I have RussellCenter.org.
Thank you, Coach BJ, for giving this platform for voices like mine and others to share with your following. But let's get there together. The African proverb is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And it's my goal that we provide a vehicle for a lot of us to jump on board and go together.
Absolutely. Well, Jay, again, I thank you so much for your time today. As everyone heard, you have a very busy schedule. And so I just appreciate you being committed to helping the entrepreneurs in our Atlanta and metro community area to really help their business thrive. And, for those nonprofits that are out there, I speak to you guys as well. I mean, he's there to help. His team is there to help, with that, gain capital for your business and your nonprofit organization. So just keep that in mind. And so again, we just always thank you guys for watching. As I say, don't forget to share and subscribe to _Coach BJ on all social media platforms for future spotlights. Again, thank you, Jay, for your time and consideration today. And we guys will see you next time.